Hey everyone, Caddy Tolama here, coming back at you with another review. I know it's been a couple of days since my last one, but had a couple up and downs days after getting my boot removed off my foot. Spent a lot of time. Um, it's quite interesting how fast you can lose muscle memory. Not being able to use my foot for a month. Basically immobilized for a month, and then surgery, and then another 2 weeks of not being able to move my foot, and now just trying to um, regain all that muscle memory. Like it's just crazy that you just in that short period of time you have to relearn how to walk. And go through certain things. And funny enough, this is actually the second time in my life I've had to relearn how to walk. I've had to retrain my muscles on how to work and everything. And it's never gets easier. So that's crazy. But anyways, to the review. Today I'm going to be talking about a Netflix anime series. Not really an anime, more of just an animation series called Seis Manos on Netflix, and it's rather interesting. Like I said before, not really an animation. Um, it's one of those Netflix produced TV shows. It kind of reminds me of the Jackie Chan cartoon that was out a couple years ago. Shit, that might have been 10 years ago now. But, anyways, I thought it was very good. There were parts of it that are bad, and parts of it that I think they could have done better. Um, Story wise, we have it's definitely different where they're bringing Chinese philosophy um, and Chinese proverb teachings, and they're bringing it into the cartel and the drug running in Mexico, and then they're throwing in some demons and magic and stuff like that. It's quite a mix that they've come up with here. We follow three main characters: Isabella, Jesus, and Garcia, who are all adopted, who are all orphans and been adopted by this Chinese uh, philosopher, kung fu master named Chu, and um, and they've been all raised since they were kids. Like 6, 7 years old. They've all been raised because they live in a very gang-oriented, drug-running-oriented part of Mexico, to where all of their parents had been killed by this one drug boss known as the Orphan Maker, and um, so, but by the time we get to these characters, they're all much older. They're in their late teens, maybe early 20s, living in the monastery, and they're all pretty good, kung fu masters basically, and um, and they have um, just randomly, basically, a man possessed by a demon shows up one day in their village, kills a couple people, kills their master, burns a whole bunch of stuff to the ground, and it sends them on this hunt to see who killed their master. And they come to find out that it's basically just, you know, an accident. It wasn't like he was targeted or anything. It was just this whole other thing that's going on the side here with the main bad guy El Balde, the Orphan Maker, and it was just a whole side thing going on here, and they just happened to get caught in the crossfire, and the whole show is just a telling of how they get to that at the end. Um, I thought it was a decent story. There weren't really anything in there that I thought was like a waste of time or or not enjoyable. You know, it's a 8 episode season, and what I thought I really liked about it was just right hand turns constantly. Just, you know, it really kept me on my toes in the fact of like, it was hard to predict exactly where it was going. You know, I mean, it starts off with demons, then we got kung fu masters and constant Chinese proverbs being thrown in. They'll throw a character in, and then, you know, you think he's going to be a main guy, and then boom, they kill him in the next episode or at the end of the episode, you know, or they introduce one tiny little thing, you know, and they sprinkle this stuff in, and then it's part of an immediate right hand turn, you know, 3 episodes later. And it was really interesting how they kept, you know, the story evolving. They kept adding to it as the season progressed. I really enjoyed that. And then left it open for season 2. You know, they answered a lot of the questions that they presented in the first season. You know, we found a lot of things out. Um, you know, they have these open connections throughout the whole show to where they answer them throughout a lot of it, and I think that um, oh, I just remembered. Garcia is not the main character. It's Silencio. That's right. Garcia is another character in this show. Silencio, because he's had his tongue cut out and he doesn't talk, so they call him Silencio. I should have remembered that. I'm sorry. But anyway, still, um, thought the story was enjoyable. Left it open for season 2. Um, um, you know, I'll definitely check it out. Animation wise, like I said, kind of reminded me of the old Jackie Chan cartoon from a couple years ago, and um, I felt the animation could have been done better. You know, let's just start there. You know, obviously not master level animation. Um, I would say B level. B level tier animation. Not super great. At times it looks super super janky to where you can kind of tell it's, you know, like it's not smooth. Um, I will say that all the fight choreography and all the fight scenes very well done. I think you can tell that that's where they spend a lot of their time, a lot of the money, you know, to make that stuff look good. The combat I think is very I don't want to say like a tip of the hat. It's very uh, it shows its respects to kung fu. You know, it shows its respect to martial arts. They went out with the intent to show respect to martial arts, um, and I think they did that. You know, there's a lot of, you know, we see, if you watch any kung fu, we see some drunken master. You know, one of the main characters is a drunken master, and um, I think that there's a lot of different styles and a lot of different. It was very well done in terms of the combat animation, but at other times looks super janky. You know, the characters are kind of jumpy in terms of like how it's just not smooth. You know, um, I think that hmm. Um, Definitely not something you want to watch with your kids. Super violent. I mean, like I said, I mean, there's crazy stuff happening within the first 5 minutes of the show. You know, the first 5 minutes of the first episode. There's crazy shit happening. You know, blood, people dying, kung fu stuff, people getting, you know, throats ripped out, all sorts of stuff. You know, it pulls no punches in that realm, and which I kind of it kind of sucks because like I would like to show my daughter some of the kung fu stuff in there. You know, um, she likes some kung fu movies she watches with me. You know, and so I would like to show her this, but it's way too graphic, um, way too rough in terms of the violence and everything like that. So definitely not a show I would show to your kids or anything like that. But in terms of creativeness, if we pair it all together, creativeness, animation, storyline. Um, I'm going to throw the kung fu in there. It's a low, it's a low A tier animation. Um, if you're a kung fu fan, I think it would be interesting for you. But if you're just looking, if you're a hardcore anime fan, you might not like it because of the animation style is not that great, and stuff like that. So it just depends. I felt it was a pretty good show, but definitely could have done a lot better, in terms of the animation and everything like that. We'll see. Maybe they improve it a little bit in season 2. So we'll see how that goes. And definitely one I'm going to check out. It's season 2. I'm definitely going to check out. So if you guys enjoyed the review, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. If you've seen the show, go ahead and leave some comments. Tell me what you guys thought about it and everything like that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.